Hey everyone, and welcome to part 2 in our video content creator kit series. In our last video, we looked at a bare bones setup, and today we are gonna move things up one more level into the entry level setup. Let's check it out. All right, so if you're joining us after watching part 1 where we went over a bare bones setup using your cell phone, today we are upgrading to an actual camera. Now, if you haven't already watched that video, I highly recommend you watch that just to get a sense of what we're upgrading and what we are still using as we move into the next level. One more thing before we dive into the entry level setup. If you guys like this kind of video, definitely give this a thumbs up, leave a comment below with suggestions for other videos you'd like to see, and of course, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. So for each level within our video content creator kits, we're gonna look at the same categories. As before, the first place we're gonna start is the heart of everything, and that is the camera. Specifically, the camera we're choosing is the Sony ZV-1. For people that are familiar with this channel, we actually did a review of this camera back about a year ago, and I'll have a link to that with a more in-depth look at this camera, and I'll have that right up here for you to click on and check that out. So the first major upgrade is going to, of course, be the form factor. We're getting something that is meant for video. We are also getting a larger sensor. We're upgrading to a 1-inch sensor that is also capable of 4K capture. But the actual size of the sensor is larger, and there's two major benefits to that. The first one being that the actual sensor pixels are quite a bit larger. And what larger pixels mean is you're going to get better performance in low light. The other benefit of a larger sensor is it allows for better control of depth of field. The best way to think about this is having that blurry background, and actually some phones kind of do this artificially, and this will typically show up especially in nighttime shots where you have lights twinkling in the background. They'll look like big glowing orbs. Okay, great. So we're a major upgrade when we're talking about the actual sensor that's capturing the footage. What else are we getting? Well, if we look at the next category of lens, we're actually getting that built right into this camera. We're getting a 24 to 70 millimeter power zoom lens. At 24 millimeters, you're getting something that is wide enough that you can put on a selfie stick or a small tripod and get some vlog style shots. And at 70 millimeters, you can get some more close-up shots of things. You can use this for more portrait style shots. Another benefit we're getting with the Sony ZV-1, which is truly unique in this price range, is you're actually going to get a built-in ND filter. So we have our filter category as we go through our kits. With this one, you're also getting that included in the price of the ZV-1. So the reason why an ND filter is so important and why we're gonna include one on this kit and every kit remaining is that it's going to give you another point of control in the exposure triangle. What it allows you to do is control the amount of light in a scene and set everything else the way you want it. They're basically like sunglasses for your camera. Okay, so already with the Sony ZV-1, we've got the camera covered, we've got lenses covered, we've also got a filter. So I have right here a more advanced version of light that we're recommending, the Amaran 100D. This is the Aperture 120D Mark II. They have this single chip on board LED. Now the advantage of this is you get versatility from this, and you'll also get highly accurate light. And one measure of that is called CRI. Basically, the higher the CR value, the better quality of light you're getting and the more accurate the colors will be captured by your camera. So the other thing you're gonna want is some sort of light stand. We have a recommended one here from Impact, and in the previous video, we recommend you just get whatever you can. Just get something that's gonna give you the height that you need and feels like it's not gonna fall apart after 2 uses. The other advantage of using a light like this is you're getting a versatile mount on the front. This has what's called a Bowens mount. Now with this mount, you can screw in a lot of different modifiers. It comes with a reflector dish, and this is gonna give you a more directional hard light, but like I said in the previous video, When you're doing something where you just want to focus on people's faces and you want nice flattering light, you're going to want to soften the light. So we chose what we feel is a very versatile modifier that's going to give you a lot of different options, and that is the aperture lantern. It's sort of a big diffusion sphere, but this one also comes with a skirt, so you can control the light still a little bit, even though you're getting this nice soft diffused light. So choosing a light like this and a modifier like the lantern is going to give you a lot of flexibility. You can go from a very hard light all the way to something very diffused to fill an entire room, or do something kind of in between using the skirt here where you can control the directionality of the light a little bit, but still get a nice soft feel. Okay, so now we've got a nice professional video light with a modifier and stand. Next up is audio. So the microphone we're recommending for this kit is actually the same from the bare bones kit, and that's the Rode SmartLav. Again, the benefit of this is that it's a versatile mic. You can plug it into your phone and use your phone as an audio recorder. You can also plug it directly into the ZV-1 and use it as a lav directly into your video. But when you combine it with our other edition, which is a dedicated audio recorder, you can expand the possibilities even a little more. So for your kit, we're gonna recommend the Zoom H1N. So again, when we're trying to find equipment that is gonna give you the best bang for the buck, we're looking for versatility, something you can use in multiple scenarios. So the advantage of this particular audio recorder is that it has built-in stereo mics. Now, of course, you can use this to capture things like a band, a concert of some sort. Stereo always is going to sound more realistic and rich than a mono signal. So the other area where a stereo signal is beneficial is when you're trying to capture location sound or sound effects. Let's say you have a shot of a beach scene. Well, to complete that shot, you want the sound of the waves and the seagulls flying overhead. And if you can capture that in a stereo signal, it's going to be that much more immersive. Another option is actually using this as sort of a boom mic. It has a 1/4-20 mount, which means you could put this on the end of a tripod or a gorilla pod, or maybe a boom pole if you've got that. You could also use this as a handheld mic to interview people. You could put this on a small tripod and have a podcast type setup, but then it doesn't stop there. There's one more capability, and that's this has a mic jack. And this can actually just plug in to the audio recorder, and now you have a complete little lav and audio recorder setup. The next thing we're gonna look at is putting your camera on something, and that is the GorillaPod from Joby. So as I said in the bare bones video, this is just a great, versatile solution for mounting your camera and mounting anything that takes a 1/4-20. This also is going to fulfill our next category of stabilization. The Sony ZV-1 actually has built-in stabilization that is pretty darn good. Plus, something like this is going to give you a nice steady shot and allow you to get vlog style videos and walk down the street and still get a relatively stable view. And finally, you're gonna need a machine to edit these things on. In the bare bones video, we recommended the Asus VivoBook M515. And we're actually recommending that again for the entry-level setup as a good option. But if you have a little bit more money to spend in your budget, and maybe you're interested in learning about the components that go into these video editing machines, then we recommend you go for a build-it-yourself solution. And for this particular setup, we're actually going to use the same setup that we used for our budget video editing PC build. In that video, we were able to build a video editing PC with a monitor, mouse, keyboard, and everything you need to get going for under $1,000. Lastly, you're gonna wanna choose a video editing program. And in our bare bones setup, we went through a couple different options, but for entry level, I'm going to recommend you probably go with Premiere Pro. You could also choose DaVinci Resolve, which is another powerful program that is completely free. Either program is great, so you can't really go wrong, and there's plenty of tutorials for both of them. So that wraps up all the components for our entry-level video content creation kit. Our goal was to keep it under $2,500, and as you can see at the bottom, we definitely did that. And if you choose to go with the VivoBook, you might even be able to get this entire kit under $2K. As always, please like comment, and subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell to get notified for when we put out future videos, including our up-and-coming intermediate level kit. This has been Nick Taylor with the MenajErie Studio, and we'll see you in the next video.